Hi guys, welcome to Flick Finesse. This time we picked out the top of the best thriller movies to watch this July. From Prime Video, Peacock, AMC Plus, and Tubi. You'll find hidden gems and gripping stories. Some of these movies were even released in 2025, carefully chosen so everyone can discover something fresh. We hope you enjoy this list, so let's jump right in and get started. Number 12. The Luckiest Man in America. The Luckiest Man in America, directed by Samir Oliveros, is a captivating biographical drama that blends suspense with heartfelt character study. The film delves into the true story of Michael Larson, an unassuming ice cream truck driver who ingeniously exploits a flaw in the 1980s game show Press Your Luck to win an unprecedented fortune. Paul Walter Hauser delivers a nuanced and restrained performance as Larson, perfectly capturing his awkwardness, determination, and the quiet complexity behind his unlikely gamble. The supporting cast, including Walton Goggins and Maisie Williams, enrich the narrative by portraying the game show's producers and Larson's personal circle, adding layers of tension and emotional depth. Fans of character-driven true stories and retro Americana will find this film quietly compelling and emotionally resonant, anchored by Hauser's magnetic lead performance. Number 11. Black Bag. Black Bag, directed by Steven Soderbergh, is a taut and cerebral espionage thriller that blends the icy precision of classic spy cinema with a modern meditation on surveillance, loyalty, and psychological manipulation. Set within the covert corridors of British intelligence, the story follows George T. Woodhouse, a seasoned agent thrust into a web of conflicting agendas when a classified satellite project begins to unravel. As his wife, who also happens to be his superior, plays her own dangerous game, the narrative twists into a quietly explosive power struggle where trust is both currency and liability. With each layer peeled back, the tension becomes more intimate and more lethal. Michael Fassbender commands the screen with a restrained but simmering performance, capturing a man torn between duty, paranoia, and personal fracture. Cate Blanchett is magnetic as Catherine St. Jean, equal parts enigmatic strategist and emotional cipher. It's a spy thriller that favors cerebral unease over bombast, placing character psychology ahead of shootouts. Fans of Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy or The Conversation will find this a gripping and sophisticated entry into the modern espionage canon. Number 10. Loop Track. Loop Track, directed by Thomas Sainsbury, is a paranoid and slow-burning psychological thriller that fuses social anxiety with creeping horror and nature's quiet menace. The film follows Ian, a deeply anxious man who ventures into the New Zealand wilderness, hoping to escape his mental noise and the chaos of modern life. But solitude doesn't offer peace. Instead, he becomes entangled with a group of strangers. His paranoia heightens, and an eerie presence in the forest begins to stalk their every move. The further they hike, the more Ian's grip on reality blurs, leading to a final act where psychological horror gives way to something far more primal. Sainsbury himself leads the cast with a performance that is raw, awkward, and quietly intense. His portrayal of Ian is equal parts tragic and relatable, embodying the fear of losing control, socially, mentally, and physically. Hayden J. Wheel, Kate Simmons, and Tawanda Manimo round out the ensemble with naturalistic, grounded performances that enhance the sense of escalating dread. For fans of psychological thrillers with a unique voice and a creeping sense of dread, Loop Track is a quietly harrowing descent into inner and outer wilderness. Number 9. Black Heaven. Black Heaven, directed by Jill Marchand, is a slow-burning techno-thriller that fuses digital noir with psychological drama and eerie romantic obsession. The film follows Gaspard, a naive young man whose life takes a surreal turn after he stumbles upon a lost cell phone and, with it, a trail of cryptic clues leading to a woman named Sam, an enigmatic figure who lives two lives, one in reality and another inside a dark, role-playing online game called Black Hole. As Gaspard ventures deeper into the game's strange underworld, he begins to lose his grip on what's real, spiraling into a psychological maze of manipulation, voyeurism, and self-erasure. Grégoire Le Prince Ringuet brings an anxious sincerity to Gaspard, portraying a young man consumed by both curiosity and infatuation. Louise Bourgoin is haunting as Sam, walking the line between allure and danger with calculated mystery. Their chemistry is quiet but charged, pulling viewers into a story where emotional vulnerability becomes a weapon. Melville Poupeau adds another layer of menace, his presence sharpening the story's unsettling tone. Visually atmospheric and thematically elusive, Black Heaven thrives on mood, tension, and ambiguity. The film's transitions between sunlit French suburbs and its shadowy virtual world are jarring yet purposeful, highlighting the divide between surface normalcy and the chaos beneath. Number 8. A Bluebird in My Heart. A Bluebird in My Heart, directed by Jérémy Guez, is a quietly intense neo-noir thriller that fuses brooding atmosphere with restrained emotion. The film centers on Danny, a former convict trying to escape his past by living a low-profile life in a rundown motel, doing odd jobs in exchange for a room. There, he forms a reluctant bond with Clara, the teenage daughter of the woman who runs the place. But when Clara is assaulted, Danny is pulled back into a world he tried to leave behind, forced to decide whether redemption means turning the other cheek or doing what he was built to do. Roland Meller gives a quietly powerful performance as Danny, carrying the weight of his character's guilt and rage with minimal dialogue but deep physical presence. His restrained portrayal gives the film emotional gravity, while Lola Lalande brings vulnerability and fire to Clara, a teen teetering between innocence and disillusionment. Their relationship feels authentic and raw, never forced or sentimental. It's a film that breathes slowly but hits hard, an understated thriller for those who appreciate character over spectacle. Number 7. Holland. Holland, directed by Mimi Cave, is a polished and unsettling psychological thriller that blends small-town charm with a creeping malaise beneath its picture-perfect surface. Known for delivering tonal whiplash, Fresh, Cave crafts a Hitchcockian itch beneath the facade of suburban innocence, then lets it unravel into domestic nightmare. The film centers on Nancy Vandergroot, a meticulously composed home ec teacher in Holland, Michigan, circa the early 2000s. Her life, complete with a community pillar husband and sweet son, Jude Hill, begins to fracture when Nancy suspects Fred is hiding something far more sinister than an affair. With the help of affable colleague Dave Delgado, Gail Garcia Bernal, she digs into his secrets, only to unearth a darkness that turns the town's Tulip Festival veneer into a powder keg. Nicole Kidman commands the film, infusing Nancy with sharp precision and simmering desperation. Kidman's flair for chilly suspense, reminiscent of To Die For, anchors the unraveling dread. Matthew McFadden plays the steel-wrapped Fred with understated menace that keeps both Nancy and viewers guessing. Number 6. Marionette. Marionette, directed by Albert Van Strien, is a cerebral and haunting psychological thriller that blends supernatural mystery with existential unease. The film follows Dr. Marianne Winter, a grieving child psychiatrist who relocates to Scotland for a fresh start. There, she encounters Manny, a troubled young boy who insists he can control people's actions with his mind. As Manny's drawings begin predicting real-world tragedies, Marianne's clinical detachment gives way to obsession. The deeper she probes, the more her grip on reality begins to fracture, raising a terrifying question. Is she treating delusion or living inside one? Thekla Ruijten delivers a powerful and restrained performance, grounding the film in emotional vulnerability as her character slips further into doubt. Her subtle transformation from professional calm to shaken disbelief is matched by the unsettling presence of Elijah Wolfe as Manny, whose quiet intensity fuels the film's tension. For viewers drawn to psychological thrillers with a metaphysical twist, Marionette is a quietly gripping experience. It doesn't shout, it whispers, unnerves, and then leaves you questioning what you just saw. Number 5. Maggie Moores. Maggie Moores, directed by John Slattery, is a quirky and off-kilter crime thriller that fuses small-town eccentricity with deadpan humor and a double dose of mistaken identity. The film follows Chief Jordan Sanders, a weary local police officer investigating the bizarre murders of two women, both named Maggie Moore, who turn up dead within days of each other in the same quiet desert town. As Sanders digs deeper, the mystery leads him through a maze of nosy neighbors, sketchy hitmen, and desperate middle managers, gradually revealing a chain of impulsive decisions and escalating chaos that no one seems fully in control of. Jon Hamm brings a grounded charisma to Sanders, offering a subtle blend of dry wit and quiet melancholy that keeps the film emotionally tethered. Tina Fey, as his curious and well-meaning neighbor Rita, adds levity and emotional warmth, their chemistry bringing a soft charm to the otherwise cynical surroundings. Supporting turns by Micah Stock and Happy Anderson infuse the film with awkward menace and oddball energy, reinforcing the film's blend of noir and satire. It's not a tightly wound whodunit, but rather a strange and meandering exploration of human folly, delivered with style and smirking charm. Number 4. 88, directed by Aromos, is a cerebral, high-stakes political thriller that fuses dark money intrigue with urgent cultural commentary and conspiracy-level paranoia. The film follows Femi Jackson, the financial director of a Democratic super PAC backing a rising presidential candidate, Harold Roundtree. When Femi notices a pattern of donations summing to 88, a white supremacist dog whistle, he enlists investment blogger Ira Goldstein, Thomas Sadowski, to decode the conspiracy. As they dig deeper, Femi's private life frays, his activist wife, Naturi Naughton, and son bear the weight of his mission, while systemic racism, Citizens United, and coded influence loom large over their lives. Brandon Victor Dixon anchors the film with fierce moral clarity as Femi, capturing a man unraveling yet resolute. Thomas Sadowski offers sharp support as Ira, grounding the conspiracy in personal stakes. Orlando Jones, channeling an Obama-like charisma, carries Roundtree's public facade with unwavering control. 88 is a provocative, idea-forward thriller backed by bold performances and urgent themes, uneven in structure, but undeniably resonant. Number 3. Swallow. Swallow, directed by Carlo Mirabella Davis, is a haunting and meticulously crafted psychological thriller that fuses body horror with emotional repression and feminist allegory. The story centers on Hunter Conrad, a newly pregnant housewife living in a sterile designer home with her emotionally distant husband and his domineering parents. Trapped in a gilded cage of affluence and expectation, Hunter develops pica, a disorder that compels her to swallow inedible objects, marbles, thumbtacks, even batteries. As her obsession intensifies, it becomes a dark form of self-expression and resistance, leading her on a deeply personal journey that threatens to upend the life others have built around her. Haley Bennett delivers a tour de force performance, embodying Hunter with quiet fragility and simmering intensity. Her transformation, from a passive, doll-like figure into someone both defiant and deeply wounded, is mesmerizing. With minimal dialogue and precise physicality, Bennett commands every frame, supported by a cold and convincingly claustrophobic ensemble. It's a slow-burn thriller that resists sensationalism, focusing instead on psychological texture, bodily autonomy, and the unspoken trauma lurking behind perfect appearances. Number 2. The Spanish Prisoner. The Spanish Prisoner, directed by David Mamet, is a cerebral and tightly constructed thriller that fuses corporate intrigue with philosophical unease and the cool detachment of classic noir. Known for his stylized dialogue and meticulous plotting, Mamet crafts a story where trust is currency, and every conversation might be part of a larger con. The film centers on Joe Ross, a brilliant corporate engineer who's just created a top-secret formula, a process that could revolutionize business. But as Joe seeks recognition for his work, he crosses paths with the mysterious Jimmy Dell, a suave stranger who offers friendly advice and possibly something more sinister. As paranoia builds and alliances blur, Joe finds himself trapped in a layered game of deception, unsure who's manipulating whom. Campbell Scott brings a quiet vulnerability to Joe, portraying a man gradually unraveling as he realizes how little control he truly has. Steve Martin, in a bold departure from comedy, delivers a chillingly subtle performance as Jimmy, calm, composed, and unreadable. He's joined by Rebecca Pidgeon, Ben Gazzara, and Ricky Jay, all of whom add to the film's chilly precision and enigmatic tone. For viewers who appreciate intelligent thrillers built on atmosphere, ambiguity, and subtle sleight of hand, this one is quietly gripping and unmistakably Mamet. Number 1. Knives Out. Knives Out, directed by Rian Johnson, is a sharp-witted and stylish mystery thriller that fuses classic whodunit conventions with modern satire and subversive twists. Known for genre reinvention, Johnson blends the elegance of Agatha Christie with biting commentary on class, privilege, and truth, delivering a murder mystery that's as socially conscious as it is entertaining. The film centers on the suspicious death of Harlan Thrombey, a wealthy crime novelist found dead after his birthday party. As eccentric detective Benoit Blanc begins peeling back the layers of the Thrombey family, hidden motives, toxic entitlement, and long-buried secrets emerge. At the heart of the mystery is Marta, Harlan's kind-hearted nurse, whose moral clarity becomes both her weapon and vulnerability in a house full of manipulators. Daniel Craig steals the show with a delightfully exaggerated southern drawl as Benoit Blanc, equal parts Hercule Poirot and Columbo. Ana de Armas delivers a breakout performance as Marta, anchoring the film with warmth and sincerity. The ensemble cast, including Chris Evans, Jamie Lee Curtis, Michael Shannon, and Toni Collette, is uniformly excellent, each adding flavor to the dysfunctional family dynamic with razor-sharp timing. It's a rare thriller that rewards careful viewing while still delivering laughs, suspense, and a few gasp-worthy reveals. Smart, timely, and endlessly rewatchable, Knives Out is a modern classic in the mystery genre, and unmistakably Rian Johnson.